Imagine stepping into an operating room where the surgeon's hands are extended not just by instruments, but by a sophisticated robotic system delivering just unprecedented precision.
Mm-hmm.
What does it truly take for a company to innovate right there at the cutting edge of healthcare, to develop these complex, life-changing technologies and then scale them globally?
Well, it's a monumental undertaking, isn't it? Beyond just the engineering, it's about pioneering an entirely new standard of care, ensuring safety, navigating the whole global healthcare landscape.
Absolutely. And that's precisely what we're going to dive into today. Intuitive Surgical, the absolute pioneer behind robotic assisted surgery.
Right.
We're unpacking their second quarter 2025 financial and operational updates. You've shared some really comprehensive sources with us, their recent earnings call transcript, a detailed press release. It gives us a fantastic window into their world.
Yeah. And our mission really is to distill these documents for you, extracting the most important insights, those key nuggets of knowledge, and give you a real shortcut to understanding the pulse of this global medical technology leader.
We'll explore everything from their new leadership and financial performance to the exciting advancements in their robotic systems like the Da Vinci Vive and, their broader vision for the future of care.
Sounds good.
So let's start by looking at a pretty significant leadership transition that's underway there.
Indeed. Intuitive Surgical is entering, well, a new era at the top. Dave Rosa, someone who's been with the company since, gosh, almost the very beginning in 1996.
Wow.
And he even helped develop the first Da Vinci prototype. He's now stepped into the CEO role.
To have someone who was there right at the inception, helping shape that first Da Vinci, now taking the reins as CEO, what does that signal, you think, for their long-term strategy, their innovation culture?
Well, I think it signals continuity.
Yeah. He's taking over from Gary Goodhart, who led for over 15 years, right?
Right.
And Gary's now the executive chair of the board.
Exactly. So this deep experience staying involved. But it also underscores the sheer scale of what Dave is stepping into now.
Right.
This isn't a small tech startup anymore. Not by a long shot.
Yeah.
We're talking about a global enterprise. Employs over 16,000 people.
16,000.
Supports more than 11,000 robotic systems across 74 countries. And, get this, it's been used in over 17 million procedures to date.
17 million. That's just an astonishing footprint. It really shows how robotic surgery is, well, deeply woven into global healthcare delivery now.
Absolutely. And the company's recent performance certainly reflects that scale. Their second quarter of 2025 delivered exceptionally strong financial results.
Yeah, I saw that. Revenue surged an impressive 21% to $2.44 billion compared to the same quarter last year. What does that kind of revenue growth tell us about the current demand?
Well, that 21% surge isn't just a big number. It actually underscores how deeply integrated robotic surgery is becoming in sort of routine hospital operations. It's moving from a niche to an essential part of care, even with broader economic pressures.
Right.
And we also saw Da Vinci procedures worldwide grow by 17%. If you include their ION system, total procedure growth was an even more impressive 18%.
So strong growth across the board.
Yeah, it signals robust adoption, increasing comfort with the technology by surgeons globally. And the installed base of Da Vinci systems also grew significantly, up 14% to nearly 10,500 globally. That just reinforces that continued expansion.
Okay, that brings us to what's really driving a lot of excitement right now. Intuitive's newest platform, the Da Vinci V.
Ah, yes, the V.
It's now in broad launch across the United States. And this isn't just a pilot. It's already been used in over 100,000 procedures just during its measured U.S. launch phase. What's making the Da Vinci V particularly impactful right now?
Well, it's broad U.S. launch, and that rapid adoption are significant because it's their most advanced system yet, and its reach is expanding fast. The Da Vinci V has now received regulatory clearances in Europe and Japan.
Oh, okay. So international rollout is starting.
Exactly. Measured launches are set to begin there. This is a crucial step for wider international adoption, and it really validates the system's design and capabilities on a global scale.
And we're hearing overwhelmingly positive customer feedback for the V, right? It was clearly designed with efficiency in mind.
That's the key word, efficiency.
There's talk about potential time savings,
Yeah.
maybe exceeding 20% on certain cases, short or long. The ambitious goal here seems to be empowering hospital teams to fit another case into their day.
Right.
From a hospital operations perspective, what kind of impact could that actually have?
Oh, that's a profound operational impact, especially in hospitals where OR time is such a premium, right? Fitting in an additional case doesn't just mean more procedures. It can mean reducing patient wait times, increasing hospital revenue, and ultimately allowing more patients to access needed surgeries.
Makes sense.
And in fact, the da Vinci V's average system utilization recently surpassed that of the da Vinci Xi, its predecessor.
Already.
Yeah, that's a promising early sign of its effectiveness and how quickly it's being integrated into real-world surgical workflows.
So this isn't just a static piece of equipment. The Da Vinci V, like the ones before it, it's a platform that's going to continue to evolve with software and hardware updates.
Absolutely. Future enhancements include things like the ability to integrate 3D models in new ways, leveraging increased computing power for enhanced graphical and imaging capabilities.
And what's the strategy behind making these future features available, especially if, as they said, most won't be directly charged for?
Well, the strategy is long-term value creation. While most of these future features won't carry a separate price tag, they significantly enhance the system's overall utility and attractiveness. It builds loyalty, keeps the platform competitive, and ensures surgeons have the most advanced tools. That just reinforces Intuitive's position as a technology leader.
Okay, let's look at system placements then. Intuitive placed 395 Da Vinci systems this quarter. That's a notable increase from 341 last year.
Right.
And of these, 180 were Da Vinci V systems. That's a huge jump from just 70 in Q2 2024. Definitely suggests strong demand for the new system.
It does.
But what does the broader picture of placements tell us about the market dynamics? Is it strong everywhere?
It's, let's say, a mixed for generally positive picture. U.S. capital placements, especially for the Da Vinci V, were very strong. However, international markets like Japan, China, and Europe continue to face those macro challenges, government budget pressures,
Oh.
which led to largely flat or even declining placements in some areas, like Japan saw a dip. It really highlights the global economic headwinds that even a strong company like Intuitive has to navigate.
But there's a bright spot in expansion, isn't there? Distributor markets showed strong growth.
Absolutely, particularly in places like Brazil, Eastern Europe, and Southeast Asia. These are often customers establishing their first robotic programs.
So, new ground.
Exactly. It demonstrates vital expansion into new territories where robotic surgery is still, in its nascent stages. It shows the demand continues to spread globally, even if the adoption curves vary by region.
And there's a fascinating detail about leasing.
Yeah, leasing represented 49% of placements, which is actually down a bit from 54% last year,
How is that?
primarily because many of those distributors in growing markets don't qualify for leases. However, the company still expects the overall trend to move towards increased leasing over time, especially driven by international customers looking for more flexible financial options.
Got it. And with the broad launch of Da Vinci V, we're seeing the upgrade cycle really accelerate. Trade-in transactions are way up. 83 in Q2 compared to just 21 a year ago.
Right. Mostly U.S. customers upgrading.
And this process is expected to unfold over several years. What's the strategic advantage of this trade-in program for Intuitive? It seems smart.
It's quite smart, yeah. These trade-ins free up older Da Vinci Xi or Da Vinci X systems. And these older, yet still highly capable systems can then become attractive options for more cost-sensitive international customers or those in developing markets.
Ah, so it creates a secondary market.
Exactly. It effectively extends the life cycle and reach of their technology, allowing more hospitals worldwide to access robotic-assisted surgery, even if they can't spring for the brand new V model immediately.
Intuitive is also investing heavily in its digital ecosystem, which seems crucial for modern healthcare. They're collecting and publishing data on force feedback, other Da Vinci V aspects, through something called Case Insights.
Yeah, case insights. These are real-world data points helping surgeons refine their techniques. And their telecollaboration tools, like Intuitive Telepresence, allow clinicians to connect with peers, on-demand scheduling.
And they even did a telesurgery demonstration between Atlanta and Strasbourg.
On an advanced tissue model, yes.
Yeah.
Using Da Vinci V with force feedback. It sounds futuristic, and it is pushing the boundaries.
But what are the major hurdles to making telesurgery, a widespread reality? It seems complex.
Oh, it is. While the long-term potential is enormous, think remote specialists, remote training it requires significant advancements. The major hurdles include developing really robust cybersecurity protocols,
Definitely.
establishing entirely new hospital workflows, and updating legal and regulatory policies across different countries and regions. It's a fascinating area to watch, but it's definitely a long-term play.
Okay, beyond the main Da Vinci line, let's talk about their other platforms. The single port, or SP system, saw strong procedure growth, up 88% year over year.
Yeah, 88%. With significant acceleration, particularly in Korea. It's still early days in its European launch, but showing promising signs there too.
Can you tell us more about the SP system? What are its unique applications?
So the SP system allows for single-incision robotic surgery, just one small entry point, which can be even less invasive for patients in certain specific procedures.
Okay.
And Intuitive achieved several milestones for SP recently. Clearance for a 50-use endoscope, which helps with cost per procedure, and also clearance for transenal local excision and resection procedures. That significantly expands its colorectal capabilities.
So where are they focusing with SP near term?
Near-term priorities seem to be getting more U.S. indications, expanding internationally beyond Korea and Europe, and importantly, continuing to work on cost improvements. They clearly see considerable untapped potential here for certain types of surgeries.
And the ION and Illuminal system. Also impressive growth there. Procedures up 52% to around 35,000 in the quarter.
Right. And they placed 54 ION systems, including their first systems in Australia and Korea, so expanding its reach too.
What's the ION system primarily used for, and where's its strategic focus right now?
ION is designed for minimally invasive biopsy deep in the lung. The goal is earlier cancer detection, so its strategic focus remains on driving utilization growth in the U.S., continued international expansion, enhancing the workflow for pulmonologists, and, again, cost reduction. It's really a critical tool for early diagnosis, complementing the surgical platforms.
And it's not just about the big systems, is it? They're innovating all the way down to the instruments themselves. The new vessel sealer curved just got FDA approval. Sounds like an important addition.
It is. Its slimmer profile and improved tissue manipulation are designed specifically for procedures in narrow anatomical spaces. Think thoracic surgery, colorectal, hiatal hernia repairs.
How does an instrument like this really impact surgical outcomes or efficiency? Does it enable totally new things?
Well, it doesn't necessarily open entirely new procedures, but it's designed to significantly enhance penetration and success within these specific challenging areas. The goal is to achieve higher stick rates from surgeons.
Stick rates?
Yeah, meaning surgeons will consistently choose to use this particular instrument because its clear advantages in precision and maneuverability make the procedure more effective and reliable in those tight spots. It's about optimizing existing procedures for better patient outcomes and, frankly, a better surgeon experience.
Got it. Okay, now let's take a closer look at the financial performance beyond just that strong top-line revenue. Total revenue, $2.44 billion. Instruments and accessories revenue was up 18% to $1.47 billion.
Largely driven by that growth in Da Vinci and Ion procedures we talked about.
Right. And systems revenue jumped 28% to $575 million, benefiting from the higher mix of Da Vinci V systems. What's significant about the V's impact there and also about recurring revenue?
Well, the Da Vinci V systems carry a higher average selling price, around $1.5 million per system, up from about $1.44 million last year for the Xi. So just selling more of those premium systems directly boosted the system's revenue line.
Makes sense.
And the fact that recurring revenue accounts for such a large chunk, 85% of total revenue, is a really key insight into their business model.
Why is that so important?
It highlights Intuitive's stable, almost annuity-like business. It's driven by the ongoing sales of instruments, accessories, and services needed for every single procedure. That provides significant financial predictability, quarter after quarter.
Okay, but even with that strong revenue, gross margins saw a slight dip. Non-GAAP gross margin was 67.9%, down a bit from last year. What factors contributed to that?
Yeah, that slight decrease reflects several things hitting at once. Higher facilities costs, including depreciation from new manufacturing capacity they're bringing online. Also, a greater mix of the initially lower margin Ion and Da Vinci V revenue as these newer systems ramp up.
Okay, different cost structures.
Exactly. And increased service costs associated with supporting the broad launch of Da Vinci V.
Yeah.
And what's also fascinating here is the impact of tariffs.
Tariffs, how much impact?
They accounted for about 60 basis points of impact in Q2. Think of that as 0.6% shaved off their profitability just from tariffs. They expect it to be around 100 basis points or 1% for the full year. That's actually a slight improvement from earlier estimates because of some reduced U.S.-China bilateral tariff rates.
Still, a noticeable impact.
Oh, yeah. And the company is watching this closely because the tariff impacts are expected to increase each quarter as inventory purchased under higher rates flows through the system.
So even seemingly small trade policies can ripple through their financials. Okay, looking at operating expenses, they increased 9% year over year. Driven by higher headcount, about 300 new employees, half in manufacturing, and those increased facility costs. How does this fit their strategy?
It aligns directly with their strategy to build industrial scale and optimize manufacturing. They're clearly investing for future growth. They just opened a new 187,000 square foot facility in Bulgaria.
Bulgaria.
Yeah, and they have plans for further expansion in Germany and Mexico. These investments are pretty crucial for meeting future demand and, hopefully, improving cost efficiencies down the line.
And finally, on the financial front, Intuitive ended the quarter with a really robust $9.5 billion in cash and investments. That's a lot of cash. How are they thinking about deploying that?
They seem to be sticking with a consistent capital allocation strategy. First priority, invest organically back into the business, R&D, capital expenditures like those new facilities.
Right.
Second, they look for smaller tuck-in acquisitions, basically buying smaller companies that can be integrated to expand their existing capabilities or market reach. Nothing huge and transformative usually, just filling gaps.
Okay.
And third, they opportunistically return capital to shareholders. We saw evidence of that with share repurchases in the quarter. So it's a balanced approach, leveraging their strong financial position.
This all raises a really important question, I think, for patients and healthcare systems. How does robotic surgery truly stack up against traditional methods when it comes to outcomes? Are we seeing the evidence?
We are seeing more and more evidence emerge, and it's addressing this directly. A really significant 3-year trial was just published in JAMA, the real study.
Okay, what did it find?
It compared robotic and laparoscopic surgery for middle and low rectal cancer, and the findings were quite remarkable. The robotic-assisted group showed a 55% lower risk of local regional recurrence at 3 years.
55% lower risk. That's huge for patients facing rectal cancer.
It really is. And previous findings from this same study had also highlighted better oncological quality of resection, less surgical trauma, and better postoperative recovery with robotics. The conclusion is powerful. Robotic surgery could, maybe should, become the preferred choice for these patients.
That's compelling. What else is the data telling us about improving surgical techniques, maybe with the new V system?
We're also seeing encouraging early data on the da Vinci V's force feedback technology and those case insights we mentioned. A study presented at the Society of Robotic Surgery annual meeting found that higher forces used during surgery were associated with increased length of stay for patients.
Interesting. So measuring force matters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It suggests that these technologies could help surgeons identify factors that predict complications and actually refine their techniques for safer, gentler, more precise surgery. That directly leads to better patient experiences and potentially faster recovery.
Looking ahead then, Intuitive updated its full-year Da Vinci procedure growth guidance slightly upward,
Yeah.
now 15.5% to 17%.
Right, a little bump up.
The low end of that range considers ongoing challenges like trade impacts in China, constrained hospital capital budgets internationally. What would need to happen for them to hit the higher end of that guidance, that 17%?
Well, the high end anticipates improvements in China trade, maybe better capital environments emerging in international markets, and also moderating declines in bariatric procedures, which has been a bit of a headwind. The company is also monitoring potential impacts from changes to Medicaid policy here in the U.S. They acknowledge financial challenges for hospitals could arise if patients lose coverage or reimbursement changes.
But they think robotics can help there too.
They believe their systems can be part of the solution by helping hospitals reduce length of stay and complication rates, offering an efficiency play even in tougher economic times for hospitals.
And quickly, on the issue of third-party reprocessing of instruments, where does Intuitive stand?
They seem confident that hospitals will carefully weigh safety, reliability, and supply continuity against potential cost savings when they look at reprocessing. They expect rigorous value committees will make those calls, and Intuitive remains committed to continuous innovation in their instruments to provide the best quality and value, sort of arguing against the need for reprocessing.
Okay, so pulling it all together, what does this all mean for you, the listener, trying to stay informed about the cutting edge of medical technology?
Well, I think it means Intuitive Surgical is not just, selling machines. They're actively pushing the boundaries of what's possible in minimally invasive care on multiple fronts. This deep dive shows a company that's financially very strong, continually innovating across its platforms and instruments, and seems relentlessly focused on improving patient outcomes and the entire healthcare experience. It's a really complex and dynamic picture: technology, economics, human well-being, all intertwined.
So here's a final thought to consider. If new technologies like the Da Vinci VV can truly enable surgeons to perform, say, one more case in a day, or significantly reduce patient recovery times and complications, What might be the broader systemic impact on healthcare access and efficiency worldwide?
That's the big question.
How will this pursuit of the quintuple aim, that's better outcomes, better patient experience, better care team experience, lower costs, and increased access, how will that continue to reshape how we think about surgical care in the years to come?